Helmet. Do you see a connection between the volcano on the book Dianetics and OT3? Yes, I do, because L. Ron Hubbard specifically said that there is a connection. He had Dianetics revised, all the dust jackets of all the books of Dianetics and Scientology revised in the late 1960s and early 70s in order to try to put imagery on them that would re-stimulate people. Okay, so in Scientology, and I've explained this before, but you have this concept of re-stimulation. Something that's happened to you in the past, whether it's in the current lifetime or the distant past, could have happened to you that was really traumatic, really horrible, right? And then in the present time, if you see or hear or perceive reminders, approximations of that traumatic episode from your past now, then it will re-stimulate the energy of it, or the perceptions of it will kind of kick back subconsciously or unconsciously in your mind, and it will affect you. Right? And it will affect your decision-making process. It will cause you to like or dislike things, etc. Hubbard thought he had figured all of this out, and that the Dianetics, that the pyramids, the volcanoes, were part of the OT3 narrative, right? And so everybody on Earth has suffered that. So that's something that we all have in common, is we have this incident of the volcanoes exploding and the genocide and all of that. So let's use that. Let's trigger that. Let's boink that by showing a picture of a volcano connected with the concept of the mind on the cover of Dianetics, The Modern Science of Mental Health, and that should all by itself re-stimulate people and get them to want to buy the book. And if you can explain the logic behind that, congratulations, because I actually can't. I can just tell you that that's what Hubbard thought. Like, I don't, this idea of re-stimulation is interesting and probably has some degree of truth to it when it comes to PTSD, or, how people can get something happens in the past that's truly horrible, and then reminders of it make them feel uncomfortable, make them not feel so great, make them feel headachy or bad, or put them out of sorts and that kind of thing, or scared or anxious or fearful. But I don't understand how it's supposed to create interest in buying a book. And that's the part that's always eluded me. The logic of that has always sort of thrown me off a little bit. Like, okay, so Hubbard changes the covers of all the books to have space people and guys in white uniforms and white helmets. And he changes Dianetics, so it's going to have a volcano on the cover. And this is going to trigger or re-stimulate stuff from the past. But how does that equate to them wanting to then buy the books? That's what never really connects. And if anything, you'd think they would want to avoid the subject of the re-stimulation. That would really be how it should work. So seems a little silly to me, really. But that was, honest to God, that was Hubbard's logic for doing that. And it was a big project, and it took a lot of time and effort on the part of Scientologists to change all those book covers out. And that was a thing for a long time. And that is why Dianetics has a volcano.